Jenny, welcome to my Innovation Coffee Break. So wonderful to have you here. You are a expert communicator, a TEDx moderator, and an awesome pitch coach as well.
Thank you.
Yes.
I mean, what can you answer on that one when someone says
you answer, yes, awesome. I am. That's what you
yes,
answer.
I am. Yes, I am.
Yes. Perfect. There you go. So today we're talking about picture. No, Tina Bruno can't hear us now. Is it me again? No. There's sound. Okay, Kate, say a sound. Tina can't hear us. Anyway, we'll keep talking. Okay. Jenny.
Yes.
Let's jump straight into the whole thing about pitching. I think I actually have your name here as well. If anybody wants to know, there you go. Look, Jenny Lindblad, pitch coach. Perfect. Wonderful. We'll do a freeze frame of that image, and then we'll post it in social media afterwards. Pitching. That's the question for today. So, why do we pitch?
To create an interest, to get into that second meeting.
Yeah, I mean, I think the whole startup world. I think the startup world that we sort of live in, everybody's pitching all the time, but sometimes we forget to ask ourselves, why are we doing this again? And it's easy to, you get up on stage and you sort of turn on the tape recorder and then you do your thing, and then you forget about, why am I doing this? I mean, why did I even, and I think that's important for us to remember, and everybody to remember, is, why are you actually pitching? What are you trying to achieve? And I think
exactly. And also the goal. I mean, so many people that I coach, they forget to remember what's the goal, to always think. I mean, you're pitching all the time, but what's the goal with that particular pitch?
Yeah.
So when I pitch for my kids, what's the goal? When I pitch for you, what's my goal? When I pitch for investment, what's the goal? I mean, it's easy to just press the recorder and do your pitch, but what's your goal?
So now you're saying that one size does not fit all.
Exactly.
So I have different pitches.
Of course, you can't pitch the same theory to your kids as you do to your, loved ones. Or, I mean, my kids, they love Pippi, and if I want them to eat, I say, eat this and you will become strong as Pippi. But it doesn't really work on my boyfriend. So you always have different pitches.
Yeah, but that's
maybe it would. I haven't tried actually.
Yeah. You see, you haven't tried it yet. No, but the thing is, I think you're saying something important here, because I think that one of the mistakes that I see and hear people doing is that they reuse the same pitch, and they rehearse this. I'm going to say this when people ask me, and they don't take into consideration who they are actually talking to.
No.
Right.
Then I think that however, I think that you can have like a structure, that you have a structure for investor pitching, and you have a structure for customer pitcher, and you have a structure for, but then you need to adapt it a bit for the person that you're pitching for. But I wouldn't recommend to redo the whole investor pitch every time you have an investor meeting, because that, takes so much time. And by the end of the day, you're there to run a company, right? Not to become a pitch coach. Don't you dare.
Well, the thing is, I think that a lot of the people who run startups, they realize that, but I think it's important what you said, because I think it's easy to fall into the trap of just doing the rehearsed thing without thinking of who's in front of you. But at the same time, you have to maintain the balance of not redoing it. You don't need a new presentation every time.
No, because that would be stupid as well, because that takes a lot of time. And also, once you have a really, really good, perfect pitch where you can communicate in an effective, short, sharp way of what you're doing, I mean, why redo it?
So what goes in? What do you say? What goes in a good pitch? What should we put into a good pitch?
Oh, it depends the audience. So is it a sales pitch or an investor pitch?
Well, let's start with a sales pitch, shall we?
Okay. So there I would probably say problem, if you have one, a solution, vision, and maybe something about the team.
Okay. Something about the team. And when you say something about the team, that's another, I think there's so many, we could speak about this all day, you and me. I know that. Yeah. But when you're saying something about the team in a sales pitch, I mean, how would you sort of phrase it? What would you sort of kind of say then? I mean, what do I need to say? I mean, what things? I mean, some people can say, "Well, here's my latest resume. Here's my CV," and they go, "La da 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 da," and then in 1997, I graduated from this college, and then I went over to the US, and I spent a year there working, and then I came back from the US. You know, how much do we put in? I mean, what do you want to know?
I want to know why you are the best for this particular solution. I mean, if you were to sell me a new cancer drug, I need to know that you know something about your stuff.
Yes.
Otherwise, I will not buy it, right? Or
Makes...
if you're selling me cybersecurity, I want to know, what do you know? What's your knowledge? What's your background within cybersecurity? I don't want you to be newly graduated from, I don't know, economic school.
Yeah. Oh no, we don't want to be. That's
not if you're in cybersecurity. No.
Nothing bad about the economic school. Not at all. I didn't mean it like that. Who? I'd never. Of course not. We're actually getting. I mean, okay. We'll shoot a question in.
There are a lot of great startups coming from economic school.
I know.
That's why I had to joke about it.
I love them all. Magdalena here. What's the biggest what not to do when pitching?
There's quite a few things. So a lot of people say the word if you're interested. I mean, I think that investors, I mean, they get so many pitches or pitch decks each year, so they're looking for reasons why not to meet with you, right? Because they can't meet with several thousand people each year. So don't give them the possibility to say no before they've even met you.
No.
So that's one thing. I would say another common mistake is also people that jump up and do the pitches on the fly. Never do that. It's way too important to just come there and do it on the fly. I've actually seen startups that I've coached that thought that they're so good at the fly. And I've said, okay, do the pitch 3 times. And the second time, this particular guy, he actually said, I don't do this. So he put in a no because he got a little bit nervous, which you can, get if there are a lot of investors. And suddenly he was saying, I don't do this solution. So then you're kind of screwed, right? So never go up and do it on the fly. It's never a good idea.
So how do you, if you get the request then, if somebody says, we need to, do the pitch, or what do you say then? I mean, if they want you to do the pitch there and then, is there any way to sort of work with that?
Absolutely. I mean, we all have a phone, right? It's very simple to just take down some notes and pointers and say, just give me 2 minutes and then I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
And then, write down a few things, go through them in your head and then deliver them with great energy.
Yeah. That's actually a really good tip. I mean, even no matter how short time you have to prepare, always prepare. I mean, if it's 2 minutes or if it's 2 hours or 2 days, always prepare. You always have time to prepare. That's a really, just as you said, taking a step back, taking a deep breath and just going through your notes or adding some notes. I mean, that's a really, really good tip. So we've gone through.
And it's so much more professional as well, because people will respect that you're taking your time, you reflect in order to give them a better answer.
Yeah. And how do you? And a question I have on that is, how do you go about a rehearsed pitch not sounding as if it's something I'm reading off a piece of paper?
Well, you have to, practice how to. I think when I was working at Ericsson, I did 5,000 presentations in 5 years, and I probably pulled the same joke 4,000 times because I realized that I can't redo the joke, right? So I have to come up. I have to, because I'm not a funny person. I can't come up with new jokes, 4,000 of them, not possible. So you have to pretend it's a new audience. They have never heard it before. So you have to get into that mindset that this is the first time they will hear about your product, and you need to have that energy.
Yeah.
Wow, here I have the possibility to tell them for the first time. So I think that you need to find different ways on how to getting that energy up, because you don't want to sound like a recorder. It's
That's
boring.
actually, again, spot on. I mean, I'm just thinking, I mean, I'm listening to you and I'm thinking back to what you said, you know, doing 5,000 presentations. And you have to realize that the people you're meeting this time, they've never heard you say this before. So for them, it's a whole new thing. And but even though you've heard yourself saying it 5,000 times, and I can see that on startups when I know they've done this pitch. I mean, not 5,000, but even 20 times, you can feel sort of the energy going down because they're going through the same words again, and you hear the tape recorder sort of buzzing in the background, kind of thing. That's a really, really good tip. Don't forget that the people you're meeting, it's probably the first time they're hearing you say it. So give them the energy of the first time again. But it's a hard thing to do.
But you can find different ways on how to get yourself to get that energy. I mean, if you listen to a song, if you look at a picture when it's digital, for example, I used to, before going up on stage, I used to tap my legs 3 times, just like Carolina Clift, and combine it with a victory pose, because it got my blood flowing. And then I had much easier time to, be more energized and have that passion.
Yeah. I mean, if you find, like any athlete. I know Carolina Clift did the leg tap thing, and well, you and Carolina Clift, I mean, you're the same kind of level there, so that's okay.
No, I did it in the bathrooms where no one saw me.
Okay, Kate, are there any questions that those preparing pitches can prepare for in advance? That's actually a good question. It's I mean, what questions should I prepare for in advance?
I think that's a tricky one. It's hard to say without seeing your pitch or knowing what kind of subject you're in or what kind of topic, and also how you structure your pitch. What I realized that quite early on working on Ericsson is that, I mean, you are the one in charge of the conversation. So the earlier you put something in your pitch, and I mean, as less they interrupt you, but the earlier you put it into the pitch, the more likely is that they're not going to ask about that. So for example, when I coach startups, I tell them to put the problem and solution in the beginning, because you guys are the experts on your topic, right? You're not there to discuss AI details with an investor. You want to talk with them about business. So therefore, I start with the solution or problem and solution, and then I take the financial part in the end, where I want to focus the discussion. What have they invested in earlier? What do they think about the business model, etc. So I think that also depending on where you put things in the pitch, what kind of questions can you expect? And then of course, I mean, you will learn after a while what's typical. Where do I only plant? A pitch is also only planting a seed in every single topic. You're not going to be able to tell them everything about your solution or everything about the team. So it's about planting seed, so they want to have that second meeting with you.
And that's so many good things in one long explanation, in one long sentence there. But the last thing first, you don't need to put everything into the first, especially if it's a short pitch, a short sales pitch. You don't need to say everything, because then people will understand nothing. It's too much information. So keep it short and lead it to the next meeting. Very good. Another thing that you mentioned that I also want to point out is, if you know for yourself, these are the difficult questions that I really don't want people to answer, don't hope for the best that they won't ask them, but either put the answer in the pitch from the start or prepare really good answers to them, because they'll probably come. It's the worst thing is that people go, oh, I hope they don't ask me this, and then, oh darn, they asked me that, and and then you're, in your words, screwed. So prepare. Magdalena, another good question here from Magdalena. In some situations, you get the advice to do anything you can to stand out, like clothes and gimmicks. Personally, I prefer a clean and normal pitch. How important is it to stand out, and how do you do it in a smart way? That's actually a really good question as well. Thank you.
It's a very, very good question, and I like that you the way you phrased it, Magdalena. I think it's super important to stand out. Super, super important. However, I don't think that you do that with clothes. I think that you stand out by being yourself. So the more that you can show who you are with your tonality, the way that you speak. I have been coaching a guy who, when I talk to him, he talks super, super fast and you can get that energy. And as soon as he starts pitching, he talks super slow and he becomes a totally different person. And for me, that is not standing out. So I had to, tell him, talk faster, 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 faster. And that's when his personality comes out. And that's when you stand out. Because what a lot of people miss is that investors, they actually invest in you.
There you go. There you go. That's it. They will invest in you, not actually. I mean, the business idea can be as good as whatever, but if they don't like you, or if they don't think that you are the person to do it, it's out of the window again.
Yeah.
And I have exactly the same thing here. I have a guy that I've been working with, that fun guy, great to talk with. And as soon as it goes to the pitch, it's like sort of suit, tie, and sort of, yes, good morning, and now to the pitch. And I sort of, so I know exactly what you mean. Time passes fast when we're having fun. But what some common mistakes? Let's talk some more. What do startups forget to put in the pitch? Is there anything that people, we oh darn, I forgot to say this. I mean, what's the normal sort of thing? Anything that people tend to forget?
Not really. I think that the biggest mistake that they usually do is that they think that they're so good when they do it on the fly, when it's spontaneous. I would say that's the biggest mistake. Another mistake is when it comes to slides. I mean, my philosophy is that we should make it easy for them to buy, right? And buy can be, the kids eating their food, or the customer buying it, or the investor investing or getting that next meeting. That's, make it easy for them to buy. And how can you make or do that? Well, so, you want on your last slide, it's the slide where, it will be up there when you pitch digitally, and hopefully someone will take a screenshot, and then you want it to make it easy for them to buy, right? So you want to have the logo, you want to have a tagline, but what does usually the last slide say? Thank you. With no contact info.
Yeah, yes.
And that is so you have all this pitch that you build and you work on, and then you end with a thank you slide.
Yeah.
I mean, it should be up there: logo, tagline, your contact info.
Yeah. I mean, that's, again, I've seen that. Incredible pictures, fantastic tech, incredible things, and then thank you very much, and then everybody then gets it, leave, and then everybody in the audience is going, but we wanted to. How do I? And it's completely. So yes, always end with an ask, a hook to the next step. Contact details. Yeah. Get them in there. Make
call
sure.
To action.
Yes, call to action. Make sure that they can act on. I mean, if you've done a good pitch, they're sitting on the front of their chairs, leaning in, going, "I want this. I want you. How do I do? Which button do I press? That's where you want them, and then you need to give them a button to press." On slide, you mentioned slides. Tom, hi Tom. If you are asked to send a pitch deck before, should you do that?
I would say try not to, as long as possible. Maybe you can send them a one slider, or and rather say, let's have a half-hour meeting, just to try to get into the meeting before you send the pitch deck.
Yeah, that's also a good tip. I mean, you don't want to give away all of your information or all of it, but a one slider is a good thing to be able to send, at least so they can get an idea of what they are going to, what they're going to listen to. I mean, one of my best tips when it comes to presentation is start off by telling people what you're going to tell them, so they know what they're listening to and who they're listening to. Because I hear so many people starting off, just getting up on stage, and they start with this like super story. Imagine an evening, the sun is setting, and everybody's going, who's this guy? What is he talking about? Why am I here? What am I listening to? Just get up and say, hi, my name is Donny. I'm going to tell you about a revolutionary way of how to present your idea. And I'm going to do it with my new solution, Jenny. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
So start by telling people what you're going to tell them. I mean, that's a good intro. So Tom, no, don't send all of the slides beforehand. Give them a one pager. So then, okay.
I would like to emphasize. Sorry, I would like to emphasize one more thing that I think that a lot of startups do as a very common mistake is that you get this 1 hour meeting or half an hour meeting with investors, and they go into the meeting and they start to deliver a 1 hour presentation. And I would recommend that if you have a 1 hour meeting, try to have a 7-minute pitch. 7 minutes that gives you almost 45 because you have introduction and all these pleasantries. Hi, my name is and all that nice things. So it gives you 45 minutes for Q&A. And it's in the questions. That's where the magic happens, right? Because that's where you can find out what are they interested in, what are their issues or problems or challenges or interest or passion. You can't do that if you just shove down your information into their throat. And the worst part is, let's say that they get confused in early on, and you talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk for 1 hour, and then in the end they understand. I mean, they will never follow up with you. Sorry, but they won't.
Just because they gave you an hour, don't spend that hour pitching. Keep it short. Get the questions going, get the dialogue going. Very good. Yeah. Again. Okay, so I know that you have, let's see, I prepared some things here. I know that you've prepared, I know that you've prepared a Jenny top 3 tips for the whole getting, pitching thing. And so Jenny's going to finish off this wonderful session. And it's just a short coffee break session, but please connect with me, connect with Jenny online. Keep the questions going here in the LinkedIn feed. We are accessible. Ask us questions. Book Jenny for fantastic pitch coach presentations and whatever. She's awesome in any way and any day of the week. Yeah. So Jenny's top 3 tips.
I'm always awesome.
Yes, you are always awesome.
I'm always awesome.
For being here increases your awesomeness. So Jenny's top 3 tips. Number 1, prepare.
Exactly. Prepare. Always be prepared.
Yes. And as you said, no matter if you have 2 minutes or 2 days or 2 weeks to prepare, always prepare. There's never too little time to prepare. On the contrary, you can have too much time to prepare sometimes. Number 2, less is more.
Less is more. Don't use the full hour to pitch. Have a short pitch and then spend the time on Q&A and keep your pitch simple. Less is more. Don't try to tell everything in a short pitch.
Wonderful. And then number 3 of Jenny's top 3 tips of how to create do a good pitch is show your passion.
Show your passion. Most important. I've even heard investors that say that if they can't see the passion within 10 seconds, they stop listening. Because if you don't have the passion to run your company, I mean, who is? They're not going to make that for you. So always show your passion. Yeah.
And and to that, I will also say, don't be afraid to be who you are. I mean, it's you and your passion that we want to see, not a construct of something you think. So be yourself and show your passion. So prepare. Less is more. Show your passion. Fantastic 3 tips from Jenny, our super awesome pitch coach for today. Ali, thank you, Ali. This is awesome. You're awesome, Ali. Thank you for saying so. Thank you for being here all. Everybody, stay in the feed, ask questions. We'll have the event feed going. As I said, connect to Jenny, connect to me. And I will just say thank you very much. I will say thank you to Jenny Lindblad, pitch coach. Have a fantastic day. Thank you for being on my show on the Innovation Coffee Break, the Innovation Fika.
Thank you for having me.
Take care, everyone. Bye for now. Have a great day.
Bye.